It's time now to welcome you to the Real or No Reels podcast, featuring Tommy Wires and Mr. Lynn, produced by Mr. J. And without further ado, it's time to get real.
Welcome back to Real or No Reels, everybody. The show created by comedians with comedians to inspire new comedians in the spirit of your enjoyment. I'd like to kick it over to my man.
I'm Mr. Rue. How's everyone doing tonight? I got my co-host Tommy Wires here, and today for this episode we have some guests with us. We have Stacy Kendro and Casey McNeal.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to give a little intro, Stacy?
Oh, I don't know. We rhyme, first of all, so that's
true.
kind of fun. We're fun guests.
That's
We're
it.
already hitting it off. We already started talking about Red Fox. I mean, we got a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. You want me to intro myself?
Sure.
Let's go.
Sure.
Give
So
us
the
a little
people in
info
that
about
world,
you. Yeah.
we know who you are.
Tell the people
in
who
that
you
world.
are and what you're about. Yeah.
I do stand-up, which is insane. I think about quitting all the time, but then I still do it. So I'm on like year 23. I've had some kind of interesting milestones.
Yeah, 23 years.
I did Gotham Comedy Live, and like Jerry Seinfeld was our warm-up comic at Gotham in New York. So that was pretty exciting.
Awesome.
Those are some highlights. It also was a runner-up in Ladies of Laughter. But yeah, just, now I'm doing some filmmaking, so that's
Sweet.
some acting.
So someone's going to name drop. Jerry Seinfeld's a name to name drop.
Thank you for coming to our show. This is awesome having you on here. We're going to dive into some ideas and see what you guys think and how you've done it. Casey, would you like to give us a little intro?
Well, I thought this was the quit smoking page.
Not today.
He's like, we got these comics and actors, and I'm like, oh, that's me. I have a weird kind of a background. People think I've been in this business forever, because I have. But I started in like 1992, and I had some early successes where, I opened for Sam Kinison and Judy Tenuta and Mark Joe and Mitch Hedberg. And, but that wasn't that big a deal back then because they were all just circuit comics.
Okay,
In the early 90s. But anyway, I had some good. I did some stuff in Vegas, and then I moved into public speaking, and I've given funny keynotes for 15, 20 years before I got back on the small stage to do stand up, because I was a raging pill addict, and so when I kicked the junk, I couldn't do anything.
Right.
And I went back to the small stage, started doing open mics, and I said, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I did it, and I just came back doing stand up. So I got 2 years early on in the 90s, 3 years, and then 6 years now.
Awesome. Nice.
Stacy's looking at Casey's intro like, damn, I should have went all out. It's like he just went from
try again?
He just went from Sam Kinison to pill addict to back. He came all back around. It's a big story.
That's crazy.
We love it.
It's like a one-man show or something.
Yeah. Well, it's at this point that me and Tommy should just walk off the set and let you guys just do the rest on your own.
It's funny that talking about one man show, people often tell me like, oh, you should do a whole. That should be your brand on being an addict. I'm like, that stuff's not funny.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, you gotta
I mean, not
you,
yet.
though,
For somebody, I'm like, wow, he can really do, addict jokes, but I can't. I just don't. I can't find anything funny in it.
Well, that's the hard part, right? You got to bring the audience into it as well, and there's going to be people that are associated with people that have that in their world, with addicts and stuff like that. But in some cases, it's not funny in their world when it comes to that stuff. So it's hard to communicate that to people if that is your whole act.
I know what you mean. You don't want to use it for fodder. Like, you know what I mean? People say, oh, my mother had like depressive issues and stuff. Like, you should talk about that. It's like, but I don't want to put it on the chopping block like that. Like,
Right. I've conquered the aspect of now seeing it as funny, but someone may not have.
No.
Yeah,
and it's kind of very touchy.
And I don't think it's funny.
Yeah, right. It's low-hanging fruit, right? Like Sean would say.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's low-hanging fruit.
That's right.
But no, so you wrote for people, you said, in the 90s?
No, I never wrote for anybody. Okay. I opened for a lot of guys. See, I started in a very small community.
Okay.
Because I started in Provo, Utah, where they film the dry bar specials now. So
Comedy capital of the world.
Yeah, that's right. So the thing was that there was only about 6 of us in the state that were any good. And so when a pro came through town, a big name or something, they're always going to get a local to open for them.
Right.
So, I got to open for everybody because there were only half a dozen of us that could do it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So different than New York or
Different
LA
times,
or Boston.
Like you had more work.
Yeah, but then again, the club that I worked in, that I started in, was only a 3-night club. It was Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday night they had the open mic guys would open for the show. They'd have like 5 open mic guys. You showed up on Thursday, there might be 15 guys in the list. Only 5 would go up, and then the headliner. And then on the weekend they'd have regular open and featured and headliner.
Yeah. So what do each of you guys think from with your experience of the years in comedy, what's happening like right now in the Boston, New England scene with comedy?
Outside box looking in. Like I've been in this, I've done this, I've stepped out of this, and now I'm observing what's going on. Because for us, this is all we know. So when we have people with some experience and have done this for 20 years, 25 years, which we're blessed to have on our show, you know, we like to ask those questions. Like, what do you observe that's different, but maybe better or worse?
Like in recent years.
Well, listen, I was a kid and I was waitressing at Nick's Comedy Stop. This is way before I started.
Oh my God!
stand-up.
Wow.
I know, like
Probably
right when
made
I
more
was-
money.
You know, it's not too far off, but
Yeah, right.
like so. But this is like the comedy boom. Like they, the first year I was doing it was in Framingham, Mass, and never comedy out that way. So our opening night, we sat 450. We were sold out.
Wow.
Craziness. Like running around almost losing money if you've ever waitressed, like cash and carry, like just chaos.
Yeah.
But incredible. Like I met Henny Youngman. I met Phyllis Diller. It was like the tail end of their careers. you know? Yeah.
Sometimes that's not bad, though,
insane.
because you can have their perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I wasn't doing stand up, so but
Yeah.
it was interesting to see
I got
them
you.
and meet them or whatever.
Right.
But then I went to Boston because I was going to school, and I started working at the Knicks, and I mean that's the same thing. I go the Knicks.
The Knicks.
The Knicks. It sat like 400 something. The fire marshal was there every weekend because we were always overfilling it and stuff. But like 400. You know, so it was different. Women still wore like little fox stoles, and here and there you would see it, and they would drink Chivas and stuff. I mean, it's a lot different now.
Okay.
That room is not
What year
even
was this? What years?
like 91.
Oh, so like
That's when I started too.
so like Tellos was still around.
Tell us! that place. Oh my God.
Jordache was like still out.
Those puffy pants, what were those called?
The Skids or like the Z Cavaricis?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We all rock those.
Yeah.
Different aspect of our thing is we forgot to mention our man Jay is here with us today. What's going on, Jay?
Rocking the mics over there.
What's up, everybody?
Thank you.
So we look like this.
No, we got Jay on the screen.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
One of the things, I think the big thing that's different in the business now is like, I mean, a lot of young guys are starting new traditions, which I think aren't that great. But, you know, people might call me old school dog. Like, I don't know, I've seen some new kids that like, they go up after the headliner and do time. You know, like that, like as a host. Like,
Oh yeah.
But they're filling shows and they're rocking it and they think they're great. And so maybe they're fucking inventing a new way. I don't know. But in the 90s, there was 2 kind of shows. There was a show we had an MC, an opener, a feature, and a headliner. And that was an hour and a half.
Yep.
Or you had 6 to 10 showcase comics.
Yeah.
That was it. So like Catch a Rising Star in Boston here, they were showcase comedy, except for that showcase and that they had both kinds of things going on.
Like everybody doing 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, like everybody doing 10 minutes. And occasionally they would have like a headline, like Jonathan Katz would do, 45, and somebody do 30. So the traditional show. But the thing that's really, sorry, smacking the table. The thing that's really, 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 really different now is getting the comedy. I mean, the business had its way. You had to learn the ways of the hospitable ways and how to be and all of a sudden to get in. But what I'm saying is like back, you got to understand something. In the 90s, we used to type on a typewriter our entries to the festivals. You know what I'm saying? We typed
mail it in.
Mail it in with a VHS tape.
The guy on a horse dropping it off.
Here's my VHS tape for you to watch.
And so,
Make sure you have a high-speed rewinder.
Right, and it's a bigger world, and yet it's a smaller world now.
Oh, gosh.
Because, like, of course, I've been in the business a long time, but I know comics like everywhere.
Connected.
Yeah, connected.
So much networking ability now.
Yeah, I mean,
so much easier.
Yeah, you call out Chicago, I name you 10 comics on that scene, Houston, Austin,
Fantastic.
that kind of thing. So I know comics all over the place now. So it's a bigger world, but it's way different. The social media advertising.
Yeah,
you know? So for us, we're adapting.
Right.
We're not learning this. We're learning this stuff. It's like, now I got to learn fucking Facebook and
Right. To stay relevant.
TikTok. Then they go, oh, you on Facebook still, old man? I'm like, oh, Christ.
Right. Right.
Don't feel that old. I'm still a Facebook guy. I'm coming around on the other stuff. But
You know what I love though too? Like I'll run into new comics that are like almost exclusively male, and I'm like, oh, like what's your socials? They're like, oh, I don't do Facebook, and I'm like, all right, well, have fun. Comedy. Like I'll see you guys later. And they're like mid-20s. I'm like, I just, it's just so unfortunately necessary delivery mechanism now. It's like, how do you guys shoot yourself in the foot?
Yeah, I know some comics. I know some clubs that if you submit to them avails, the first thing they ask you is how many Instagram followers you have.
Right. How does that translate to your stage? Like,
they don't care. What
they don't care. That's true. That's what's different. If you're going to say one thing that's different, that is what's different.
Right.
They don't care.
And I remember Irera said that. He goes, it has nothing to do with it's a meritocracy or this or that. People complain. He goes, it's really about can you fill the room. That's kind of the goal.
And now that's, like you said, that's the merit.
Yeah, but do followers fill a room? No, they don't, dude. They watch you while they're taking a poop, and then they keep going on with their day.
Right.
Like, they don't come to comedy clubs. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't know if the comedy club model is the best thing anyway. Like, yeah, it's
so
like it looks good, to be on your whatever,
Right.
the social feed that ends up, whatever.
Yeah.
It looks good that you were somewhere, but I think producing is kind of that's
Plus everything
the money I'm talking about.
Everything is weird. It's all. Everything is weird now. Like, I have OCD. All right.
No.
I know.
welcome to the club, bro.
Yeah, there you go. There's your OCD home.
You got to do that.
Your OCD homie twice, yeah.
Okay.
PhD sitting right
Then
next to you.
give me
I have
sanitizer.
OCD, so at night I have to. I listen to this YouTube video of a box fan. It's just a box fan that plays for 9 hours.
That's so funny.
In addition to my actual fan.
No judgment.
Funny you
zone.
say that.
Now,
I
listen.
go on YouTube, brown noise every night.
So this
Which is just a bunch of Spanish people.
Exactly.
They all have a different sound.
Yeah, they do.
and it's a different wavelength of the megahertz.
So-
So,
Sound of
megahertz.
beans refrying.
So listen, this box fan video.
You shouldn't have asked him that question. He's going to go off. Go ahead, Casey.
My point is, this box fan video has 14 million views.
Right.
Oh my god!
It does.
You should
All
book
right?
him.
So I'm like, hey, did you see Casey's special? Got 10,000 views. Well, he's no box fan.
Yeah, exactly.
The fuck?
The box fan can't put people in
And
seats.
another thing is like 2 million views for somebody jiggling their boobs or
Yeah.
I legit
and
watch the
we're
best.
trying to earn it with a joke. It's like, oh, that's good, but not as good as this ass over here.
Well, the comedian Trix, he just had the greatest post on his feed. He's like, I've been doing this for, 25 years. Everybody in this room has been doing this for over 10 years. We're all standing up here right now. And one girl that talks about spitting on something before sex has more views.
Viral.
And everything in this way. He goes, she said 4 words.
Yeah.
Hug 2, and you understand? And that's it. It's like, it was all over.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
And that's what the universe drives
You know
towards.
what, though?
He's
I
like,
think-
but if I said hug 2 here on a stage, I'd be canceled.
You might get one laugh.
At the end of the day, though, I think sometimes you have to let all that stuff go
You have
and
to.
just do you work on instead of thinking about you resent this booker because they didn't do this or the businesses get screwed up and it's hard to get. Just work on something, whether it's write a piece or I'm doing some screenwriting, but work on do something productive because at the end of the day you'll attract work in a different way.
Yeah, in 30 years,
That's huge.
30 years, what I have learned is you don't resent somebody's success. You do what they're doing. Fucking learn, figure out what you can
Exactly.
do. How are they getting this?
But you don't want to kill yourself making a video every day.
No,
What
that's
about
not your
factory
thing.
with
Right.
content
He
that's not
hammers
even
me.
interesting? Do you do that?
Sean hammers me all the
because
time
he does that.
because I do that and I obsess on it and then I get bent out of shape about it and I do this and
Then
it was probably
I was
for the,
making little shorts, but then you're like, oh, I only got 50 views, and you get mad. And
So if you want more views, you should put a view up of you in little shorts.
okay, I think it should be called the Cat House Box Fan.
but no, it's like, and then once Sean was like, just don't worry about who sees it or how many views
Yeah.
you get, and just
That's the
do
other
it for
thing.
your own content and do it for your own, satisfaction. And I did, and even this podcast too. We started this podcast off, and I'm not going to lie about it. Whoever listens to it or knows us, I was all excited because I'm hoping we're gonna get 2, 3, 4, 500 views or 1,000 views, and we got 120.
It's all,
But the thing is what it comes back down to is like she was just saying, work at it. Because what ends up happening is that one day where something takes off and one person looks at it and they're like, wow, this is really cool, and then they look back and say, wow, they've put in all this effort in all these shows, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, I respect these guys a little bit more because they didn't give up when it was only 20, 40, 50, 60, 100 views.
Yeah.
You're
it's
getting
like
better
the little
at
micro actions that build up over time.
I mean, and they say coincidentally that the more often you post, the more likely they are to boost your.
Yeah, that's true.
It is true.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it
they'll
is
show
true.
yours on sponsored.
Yeah.
Put you in the algorithm.
Really?
Yeah.
I refuse to do sponsorship because I look like a douche if I do. When something comes across your screen, it's sponsored by Tommy Wires.
But if you got a sponsor, then you could.
If I got a sponsor, right?
one.
So,
You'd be able to flaunt that.
so
Not
my
now.
whole thing is about wires, Tommy Wires, electrical, right? It's like kind of about electrical. I started going down the avenue of doing some electrical stuff, some interesting stuff on my stuff, and I ended up boosting a ton of followers because they were interested in the electrical knowledge I did. Kind of quick, kind of witty, kind of fast, kind of fun. So I started integrating that into it, and it's just like that's me though. That's what my brand is. Just like Sean does stuff about Adidas, or he does with Kangol hats, or he does it about this and that. It's his brand. So.
But also too, like this, like let's hop on whatever's working bullshit that everyone's on right now.
Yes.
Like I have a new suggestion. Why don't you just work on a new bit? And like you guys were saying, like Stacy was saying, we attract this shit energetically because we're not chasing it. But like everyone's so like, what's going on with the algorithm? Like I don't give a hang. Like honestly, you can like followers don't mean zero. Like most of my friends are friends on Facebook.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like honestly, like this, hey, this is working out for Matt Rife, like bullshit, like.
Right.
But it's also like how nobody has an actual voice in comedy, which is why like it sucks.
Yeah.
Because no one's really saying anything original.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. So
that's
my
exactly
point
right.
of view
Yeah.
was if we get people like you guys here, we have a. I was like, if we get people like you guys to come down and we have an hour and the hour is fun, or 2 hours, we eat lunch, whatever, we hang out, like, I don't care if it gets 40 views or 5,000.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we focus on having fun for an hour, and then 3 weeks from now, we only got 200 views. It's going to kill the vibe of us doing this. So, like,
Just
that's
the knowledge. The knowledge and knowing and interacting and learning you guys' stories is like huge for us, and we hope it's huge for the people that enjoy our podcast. I want to just stop this for a minute, though. I want to go into Tommy Wires' real bowl of misfortunes. I just want to spice it up for a few minutes, and then we'll get back into the real stuff.
Yeah, I want to circle back to something. So
All right, we're just gonna do this real quick. So basically, this one's really silly.
It's a segment. So.
It's pretty stupid.
Do you need me to click?
No, because this is part of the show. I'm not even editing this out.
Oh, perfect.
We're gonna go right at it. We're gonna go right back into what we were just talking about. But on this, okay. So I'm gonna do Sean first. Sean's gonna be the first
I feel
one
like this
picked.
needs like that 70s, like.
Oh, he puts
match
pump in.
game
Oh, the
kind of
music's in
like-
it.
Oh, the music's in it.
Oh, there's music.
And now, Tommy Wires, Bowl of Misfortunes.
So in the background,
If you all want to dance, there is going to be music.
and just because of that, Stacey, that's the sound I'm going to use. Yeah, exactly. All right, Sean. So we're going to kind of change this a little bit from the last time we did this. Okay. So this fortune is relevant to either your past, your present, your future, or comedy.
Okay.
So you choose which one.
I'm going to do my future.
Okay.
Do I have to tell you what I'm thinking of, or no? You're just going to say it?
No, I'm going to say it.
All right, let's rip.
Right out the gate. All right. The greatest lever for change is awareness.
Okay. I'll take it.
Is it lever or lever?
Lever.
Tomato.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
was
say
thinking
lever.
I was thinking lever as well.
The greatest.
He wanted to up his IQ.
Nice, Jay. Perfect.
He's like,
All right, Casey. Past, present, future, or for comedy?
Present.
All right. Love is a friendship set to music.
Love is a.
Is that a wheelbarrow?
Crickets. Yeah, because
It's a mouse on a wheel.
that's
So love is a friendship set to music.
Oh, ain't that sweet.
How
It
does
is
that?
kind of-
And what does that do to your soul? How does that
it
radiate?
confuses my soul.
Does it?
'Cause I'm just trying to figure out what
Yeah,
that means.
yeah.
It's like one of those fortunes that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
That's sometimes the greatest part of the bowl of misfortune. It means nothing.
Then you go, at least I got the cookie.
Yeah.
In this case.
No,
You don't even get a cookie. That's the best.
Yeah, no, they should all be terrible.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
'Cause I used to do a bit about the pessimistic psychic. It's like everything they read. I see alcoholism. I see
that's cute.
hard financial hardship.
Oh no.
I see a tire flat.
Can you imagine with these? Tommy, can you imagine with these mics if we start just giving bowls of cookies, the crunching that would go on between four people?
My God! If we did
Dry
open
mouth.
real, you'd hear the paper.
Hey, Stacy, what does yours say? All dry.
Wow! I need a cup of water.
All right, Stacy, pick one.
I like Future.
Future,
Yeah.
okay. Generosity and perfection are everlasting goals.
All right.
That's an all right one. Okay, yeah, you're in the
Now you
good.
got your goals.
You're in the
Yes,
good
to be a
pile.
perfectionist.
Yep. All right, you're gonna do me and Jay.
No, I'm gonna have Gwen do it. Past, present, future, or
I'm gonna go comedy.
comedy. Give Tommy what does Tommy
I
got?
don't have my glasses. Let's see. Please, someone at work by remaining calm and impartial.
Perfect. That's so basically Sean. Sean is my Tommy, make sure you get here and set up the cameras on time, you bastard.
Jay, what was
Yeah, I want to be the Chinese to American translator. Where they get the
Yeah, maybe that's why some of them were doing it.
they put the words.
Jay, past, present, future, or comedy?
I'm gonna go with past.
Let's see what he's got. Past. He's good. He's digging deep.
Nothing great was ever achieved without enthusiasm.
I love
Well,
that.
that's good for Jay.
I love that
You
one.
didn't even know what he was thinking of.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Sorry. Okay, back
It's
to.
like,
I wasn't
it's like that's another thing that's different about now the old days. Like the people talk about the founding fathers, they were like 24 years old.
Crazy.
You know,
Right.
it's like these kids like this 30-year-old living at home. It's like, you know,
Dude,
Yeah.
Alexander conquered half of Europe by the time he was 23.
That's
talk about perspective. Everyone died at 48, though, so that's really,
Yeah,
that's really
that's
downfall.
different. People at 23 haven't even finished level 2 of Call of Duty right now.
Oh,
Can top it actually. We're all like maybe 3% Genghis Khan. And
Yeah, right?
yeah, we are, yeah. What,
Top of
1,500?
the world, man.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Can you play the birds again?
You gotta earn those. You gotta
Okay.
earn those. Oh man, something I wanted to circle back on. Casey, you were talking about the way comedy was back in the day. When you get into the business, at least what I've seen, being only in for 4 years, a lot of the jobs you get are they put the new people up as hosts. And what I heard back in the day was it was set up the way where either the headliner hosted their own show, or it was like a host that was, and then it was just opener, feature, headliner. And like I do know that some of the comics I work with, bookers I work with, 30-year guys, that's still their like MO.
Yes, of course. Of course, you want to have the most experienced person hosting because it's the host's job to make the show look good, to make the comics look good, to make people feel like this is $30 well spent.
Yeah.
It's like you got $30 and a 2-drink minimum. It's people into this with a date they're into $120.
Right.
It's like 2-drink minimum. That's not funny. So you have to.
Right.
Yeah.
The MC should be bringing the show up. Should be not starring in the show. Should have he could be the funniest guy in the world, but he needs to take this position.
And they can take it
Everybody
down
else.
a little bit before
That's
he's
interesting.
bringing somebody on or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, because but people
huge.
are actually, I think, trained to know that they barely listen to the first person because they've been to other shows where the opening act wasn't very good.
Sure.
Right.
Sometimes, like I'll even host a show, not often, but when I do, I notice that they're it's like you really got to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's
I'm
when you
starting
kind of
that.
talk to them. So because like the audience senses if you're just sort of reciting
Sure.
bits at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So especially up front. But sometimes
So you think it's more, get it more lively, like bring high energy.
you have to do like cheerleading. It's sort of a little bit of catering, and then I like to like talk to them to bring them in, and then do some material, and then go back to kind of like. But I do that anyway.
I tell you, I used to host. Okay, let's bring us up to another topic. Steve Sharippa. I used to host in Vegas.
You name drop
I know, at the Riviera.
Oh, he's here.
I'm still name dropping. At the Riviera.
Bring it on. This isn't going to stop.
The Improv at the Riviera, I hosted there. We did 21 shows a week, 8, 10, and midnight.
Damn.
And that midnight show, and I just do 7 minutes up front, and the objective, sell T-shirts. Like that, like he said, I don't give a fuck how funny you are. Yeah, move T-shirts.
That's
Really? What year was this when you were? I worked there too.
94, 93.
I didn't do comedy then.
So yeah, and okay. For those who don't know, Steve
Why are you
Sharippa was
laughing? It
there.
just makes me feel young for a second.
Right, Steve Sharippa.
Really? Yeah, you don't want me to talk if you would think you feel young.
Yeah, so
Do you want to
I'm
see
gonna tell you
Tommy's
something.
trophy?
I got this hat. I got this.
We all have ADD. What'd you drop?
No, I have this hat. It's a Pink Floyd hat.
Look at the grade and look at the year.
Keep talking, Casey. You don't want to see that.
Okay,
I can't even see it.
1996.
Yeah, but what does it say before that?
Look at the grade. Fourth and fifth grade.
Basketball.
Damn.
Please. Yeah, I was wearing this hat the other day in the Burren Backroom Comedy, and I walked this guy and said, "Oh, nice hat." And I said, "Yeah, it's from the 73 tour hat." He says, "Oh, did you see that live?"
Yeah.
But you know what? Fuck. I was already scalping tickets by then, but still.
That's the point.
I also want to say, why did we say back in the day? I've been thinking about it. Back in the day,
Great
like we're
question.
Mayflies.
No, we got more
Hey, I
about
remember
Sharippa, though.
315. Oh, that was
Back in the day.
The selling T-shirts was the objective. You had to make all the comics look great.
It was hard. It's hard work for hosting too, right?
Yeah, it's hard. Some comics harder than others to make it look great. But
Yeah.
All right, so why did that change to like kind of it being, I'm 4 years in. And
because hosts have got a big ego.
No. So
Yeah,
I'm
the
4
ego.
years in, right?
Yeah.
So now with bookers, they're like, that is kind of like the spot of like, you've done a couple features, you do 5 to 10 minutes, they think you're good enough, you're the host now. Like, so like,
Frankly, I think that's
It's
your
gonna make you
perspective.
better. It's gonna make you better.
I think that's your perspective because they have noticed that you have the qualities that they want in a
That's
host.
cool.
I don't think
almost
they do
like
that to every new comic.
accolade.
I think that
Yeah.
that's
no, I thought that was like
they've asked you
your,
to
that's
host.
like your breaking ice moment.
No,
like you're
no.
the,
I think that you have jumped to host because they recognize a mature, I got
values.
control of the show quality.
Yeah, it's good.
oh, that
that
deserves a
somebody's,
hand clap,
you know-
Jay. That deserves a hand clap.
Some of these 21-year-olds, they're not gonna sell.
Oh, now you just took it back. Now because I'm old.
geez.
Now because I'm old, I'm
Back
the
in the
host.
day.
Just because you're old.
Well, I remember like I did 14 shows when I worked there, so I got to think out what year that was, but like maybe like 2000 or something like that. No, a little bit after that, maybe 2003.
Yeah.
But you did 2 shows a night, and you get like a giant pink hotel room. I was like, this is the best thing I've ever.
Yeah, it was big, huge hotel room.
And by the end of the week, you come out different than when you went in because there's 2 shows every night. And you set by like the Thursday, you're like writing bits. You know what I mean? You're like riffing more.
How big of a
writing
room
stuff
is this?
about Vegas.
Like this.
It's probably in its day sat more than 100. I would say 150.
Yeah, probably.
Upstairs, they had the guys, the men in motion, lighting their dicks
Yeah,
on
and
fire.
when I was there, it was Splash.
That was
Jeff
splash.
Kuchash's Splash. And Joe Trammell was he was a
Yes, I do. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was doing the comedy.
The warm-up, right?
Yeah, he was the warm-up for Splash.
He was on AGT.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's friends with Russo, but like he's kind of a prop comic.
Gotcha.
Funny.
Yeah.
Shit.
I was just out there and I did an open mic in Vegas, and I speak to and talk to Jay Hollandworth. Is that his last name? Big J. Big Irish J.
Big J.
Big Irish Jay.
He's out there. He lives out there.
Oh, a different one. Big Irish J. Is
Big
different.
Irish J, not Big J.
Oh, Big Irish J. I
Big
know
Irish.
that
He's
guy.
just got super. Actually, just lost a bunch of weight. If you've seen him on.
So
But
he's
anyway,
medium Irish Jay?
yeah, but no, but it's interesting though because there's so many, like you were saying earlier about networking and knowing people and where you're going, this and that. I have work coming up out in Vegas, and I'm going to be out there for like 2.5 weeks. So I reached out to him like, hey, you gonna be around this and that? He's like, yeah, give me a heads up when you're coming down and whatever. I was like, perfect, and just hit a bunch. There's
I
an
don't know
open
what
mic.
bar shows and stuff to go do.
There's 2 or 3 open mics every night of the week in Vegas.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you
like
can
a
just
scene.
there is a scene for that, obviously, but then I'd like to crack into the like show scenes.
Yeah, but you know what?
But-
Last time I was in Vegas,
But I'm
while
meeting a
ago.
lot of people, which is fantastic. Like he was saying, networking,
Right.
But listen, their mic is like way better than anything. Like, listen, in New York, you don't want to go to mics. They're so bad.
Right.
But like in Vegas, their mics. I went like after a show one night, and it was actually like a real audience.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an open mic.
Right,
So that's
right. Yeah,
got
it's fun.
that going
Yeah.
for you, too.
People-
Yeah, one, 2 of those. and you
People
get
from New York
Yeah.
might listen to this podcast. You see, this goes out on the internet.
No,
That
it's
thing,
fine.
there's that internet
The
thing.
world.
they
I
know-
think
they
everyone
know it
knows.
sucks.
Everyone
They know it
knows.
sucks.
Yeah.
I only went to like 1 or 2 just to like when I first got there, just to kind of.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of New York, I know Casey just performed at Empire.
The Empire State Comedy Festival.
Yeah, nice.
That was Grizzly Pear at the Pear for a couple of days.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Have a good time?
Down from the cellar. The pear's
right.
The pear's great.
Yeah, they got another one in Midtown now.
Yeah,
That's like 52nd Street or
I
something
know.
like that.
Like the people at Broadway were pissed because it's right down the street.
Yeah, and you know what else? Person I love, Sheba Mason.
Yeah.
She's got a place right across the street also from
Three
the
Monkeys?
Pear. Yeah, Three Monkeys, right?
yeah.
I did that room before.
Yeah, that's
fun.
kind of a crazy,
Yeah, it's
weird
fun
room.
place. Yeah.
Alright.
Sheba Mason is Jackie Mason's daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
she's great. She's a good con. She's fun, nice lady.
Interesting.
Just so you guys know, like if he has a real big boot on it, he's name dropping and just crushing us. Crushing us.
That's all right. That's what we get him on here for. I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
Talk
Sheba
about
Mason's
this
awesome,
stuff.
too. She came up through a lot and didn't have any. Like her father didn't even acknowledge her. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
yeah, I know.
dead, so we could talk about it. Yeah. He didn't. That's
He
yeah.
didn't even acknowledge us his daughter until she was in her
Terrible.
20s or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
she's getting my book. I like.
And she wrote a musical about him.
Yeah.
It's like what would be the one man show, but it's like she gets a guy who talks like him to play him and all that.
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Is it just me, or were we funnier before we started taping?
Yeah, we
No,
probably
it doesn't have to be funny. Sometimes,
It doesn't have to
be funny.
sometimes it's
Yeah, I know.
informational as
I'm
well.
just kidding.
Absolutely.
All right, so the reason,
Daddy wasn't there.
no, one of the reasons for this podcast with Casey and Stacey is because you guys are 2 comics, not only that we respect and love as comics, but you guys both have like an acting background or in the actors like realm, something that I just started doing thanks to Casey. Had me on a whole bunch of kind of like audition sites or whatever you want to call it, and gonna like dip my toes in the water, so to speak. My toes aren't painted and all done up nice like Jay's. So, and it's Hampton Beach water. So we'll see where this goes, Casey. Like, I'm only going to invest so much in myself.
That athlete's foot's not gonna. Yeah.
So how do you guys see it different, or like the scene in this area? I'm sure Boston isn't the biggest scene for acting and stuff like that, but there is a scene.
Well, I don't have much more than my toe dipped in yet, but in 25 years I've been working at it or whatever. Like I was in a Super Bowl commercial in 1991.
Get out of here.
Yeah, paid $25.
Oh my God.
Do you remember the
Well,
where
you're
they
in a
had
Super
they
Bowl
had
commercial.
The Miller Lite commercial was like, hey, we want to watch the.
That's why it wasn't the
we wanna watch
Budweiser
the
one.
beauty pageant, and we want to watch the hockey game, and then they would stamp the thing. Oh, it's the Miss Face Off pageant, like the.
Oh, they merge the two together.
Yeah, they
something.
merged the two together, so it'd be the beauty pageant girls playing hockey or whatever. So I did one of those commercials. It was 23 degrees outside. It was an outside gig. Stood outside, probably 15 hours. $25. And back then, you're like, I'm in a Super Bowl commercial.
Oh, yeah, right. 25 didn't matter. No, no, that wasn't the reward. The reward was, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
And back then, like now on the set, they call everybody, oh, sir, ma'am, would you step over here? Like when you're a background person, you're like, ma'am, could we get you to do a little bit less? Ma'am,
Here we go.
Sir, and back in that day, they were like, hey, you. No, not that one, the fat chick.
Oh, man.
That's how they were in those. Oh, I'm not kidding, man.
Wow.
And you didn't give oh, me? Yay, they make me the fat chick.
I'm the fat one. Yeah, I'm coming.
I mean, I thought the whole reason you do commercials is because they pay so well, especially if it's like residuals and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I was just background for that. But they, they pay good.
Yeah.
Granted, I know a guy, I have a friend, Paco Romain, another name drop.
Yeah.
See, I'm even dropping.
I gotta send an email to about 10,000 people.
I'm even dropping D-list comedians. No, Paco.
No one's getting a name drop.
Paco did. He did a Colgate commercial,
Like a
Crest
national or something like that.
Yeah, and all he did was like buy Crest. You know, it's like $32,000 was his first royalty check.
Oh.
Listen, if he did a Colgate commercial and he said buy Crest and got paid, something is very. He got paid by Crest.
Whatever. He did a toothpaste commercial.
Yeah.
But he wants to name drop over here. Jeez, I can't.
I'm not even done. I'm not even warmed up name dropping.
I love it.
We got the good ones are still to come because the movie stuff is where I met him.
Oh, sweet.
Right. Stacey, what's your background in the acting stuff?
I did like some theater shit. Like I was like, I don't know. Like I thought I wanted to be a playwright. Then after starting stand up, I said, well, let me just do some theater.
Yeah.
Like forget about. I don't know why I didn't want to do film. I just kind of wanted to like I don't know. Be more artsy and snobby about it. People are stuck up and be like, I do the theater.
I wear sandals with
Those
socks.
commercials. Who wants those?
Right? I know. And then, you know, I started getting more into like the stand-up thing. I sort of have gone back and forth. I guess when I start getting frustrated with stand-up, I would go do a play.
Gotcha.
And then I'm only like now kind of getting into film. And, you know, I guess with the pandemic and everything, I mean, I was always kind of a film buff. Like, I like film noir and stuff. But now I'm, like, writing scripts.
Sure.
And I'm shooting little shorts. And
That's fun.
I'm getting into the editing, like I was telling you about. Final Cut, North.
Yeah.
Name drop.
See, you came along.
So you're recording the film shorts?
Yeah, like I made it with my iPhone. I got to get a camera. But I wrote, like, 11 of them. And I shot 5 or 6.
You ever need a fucking stupid person in it to let me know?
Yeah, totally.
I love that stuff.
I know. I gotta work on another one because what happens is like if I get a location or something, it all kind of falls together.
Yes.
Just so you know, like iPhone's on version 15, which is good enough to not need a camera.
That really is.
I'm like,
It's like a crack.
I'm thinking we're on like i6 over here.
I know. Chris Tabb's like, your phone needs to go to the hospital.
SE.
Oh, if you get the 15, I think you can go straight to editing and like. I mean, if you're making them for like Instagram or stuff like that, you don't even need a camera now.
Putting them on YouTube, but but I've actually I wrote 2 pilots this past year, and I just wrote a short film that I want to do like for real. Like I want a color guy and a sound guy, and you know.
Am I enough color?
So that
For Hampton, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's only 6 of us in the whole town.
Yeah,
You sit next to one of them right now.
But you know what happens though is like if you do one short, like I was doing some film fests, then you get asked to do somebody's short, and then that director likes you and he wants to work with you again.
Yeah.
So I'm like circumnavigating the casting people and just like doing people's independent stuff.
Yeah, and the shorts,
Like-
the shorts and the independent stuff is one of the only places that we can get lines.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm in 3 dozen movies, you know, as the bartender.
Right.
You know, or the cab driver, or you know, the pedestrian. Right. So I'm in all kinds of stuff, but I don't do anything.
Yeah.
You know, and then the next grade up is like feature background, which means that there's like, you know, the main star and the main 2 stars in the scene, and you're the waiter. So you're the only other person in the scene.
In the scene, okay.
But you're still not talking.
Gotcha.
You know, but that's a step up from regular background. But then to get lines, you have to do that independent stuff.
Right.
You want to do the student films and the short films and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Which is
That's where you get
then
more lines.
with
And then because you need a reel as an actor
That's what
to
I was
get
gonna ask
represented. You got to have clips of you doing it.
Yeah. Even some of these small films would be like, you know, we want a headshot or
so like,
resume
no, I'm
in
not
a
gonna
reel.
have
you
a-
can get one pretty easily now. I think you could just find like a script that you like and have your buddy
Right.
shoot it and then edit it together.
Because if I just took stuff out of my movies, it'd be like 20 minutes of me walking back in the background.
He's a back
You're
great
inhaler.
in the background.
Telephone call from Mr. Herman.
He's running a marathon in these movies.
Yes.
But like when you're on set though, I love being on set. But like also that's how you make your connections. And like they want you they might ask you to be a PA on the next one, or they want you to act or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because on the sets here, like to everybody except the director and the crew, they're all local guys. So like even the AAD, and as a background actor or an actor who's doing small scenes or an exterior, you're probably working with second unit or the first unit assistant director.
Okay.
And that's going to be also a local person. And so when you're doing stuff and they know that you're easy to work with, that you hit your marks, that you do your stuff right, then when you get those casting notices that say the director will be handpicking from the pictures, which I think is bullshit. Most of the time. Because it means it's not picking handpicking 300 pedestrians. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
It's 18 hours a day.
Right.
Yeah.
But if they do, then like Kip is this one guy who I've worked with on like 8 movies, you know, and so he knows me. He said, "Oh, I want, you know."
That's cool.
I dropped little reminders into it. I said, "Casey will do it." Yeah, get Casey. I need Casey. Like I tell that to him all the time. Yeah, just say, "Get Casey. Get Casey will do it."
That's right.
Then I have that.
You know how to
so
get
let me
him.
see the picture. Okay, Casey will do it.
Casey will do it. Nice. That's funny, man.
Oh, he gave me though an interesting piece of news. If you want actor stuff, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kip was directing me on Boston Strangler as a background guy. And we're doing this thing. He comes over to us. He says, "Okay, you guys are you're talking on the phone. You're talking to an angry person about a news story that you wrote. And he's getting real intricate little stories for all the background stuff that's going on. And people just think they just say, "Oh, you just walk back there. You just do that." But it's really very well planned, everything.
Right, like you're
even
gonna
if
walk-
you see a street like a New York City street, there's 50,000 people in the street.
Yeah.
All of them actors.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Wow.
They're all
Like
actors.
action, and then the bus goes by, and people start
Yeah,
walking.
and
Really?
okay, you count 5 beats before you walk, and then you got so that you cross at the right time.
man.
You're walking fast, they're walking
planning
slow.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Just the planning
right. So
involved
he
with that.
said
It's
to
crazy.
me, when we were in this group, he said, "You know, it was kind of like on a break. They were setting the cameras or something, and he said, I worked with Pulp Fiction. What's this guy's name? Quentin Tarantino. So I worked with Quentin Tarantino on a movie, and he came over to the group that I was directing, background people, and he said, "Listen, I'm directing a movie over there. It's fucking brilliant." He said, "I want your little movie to be brilliant too." So he was telling like, this little thing you're playing out in the background is just as important as what we're doing over there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because if you look like this,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to fuck this up. So
Oh, right.
Gotcha.
It's an
your little
expensive
story.
shot. Yeah.
You make your little story. You know, you're talking about the grits you ate last night. That's fucking meaningful. We want, you know, you're going to be all in on this. You know, he wanted every actor to be in their thing
Wow.
and not just walking around. You know?
That's cool. Yeah.
Right. So if you take a background gig, you take it seriously, obviously. And
Yeah, well, the point is that you hear stories like that. You learn things when you're on set that people tell you, and you, oh, yeah, that's cool stories. You know, you pick a lot of things up.
Oh yeah.
That's wild.
Well, you told us what you picked up upstairs on one of your comedy shows was what was the saying you said? There's a difference between being liked.
The difference between being liked and being good. Bernie Mac said that. He was telling a story about another name.
I'm just feeding him stuff to name drop. So try to keep up. We try to keep up at least.
Lobbing them. Just keeps tossing them.
You gotta remember,
A lot of dead guys.
like I was
true. We can't confirm any of
telling
it.
you guys earlier. 93. Well, yeah, you can actually see the old videos.
So
In
right now,
1991.
in the podcast, Tom's going to put up a disclaimer. None of this can be confirmed.
None of this could be true.
Everyone's
Well, in
dead.
1991, these
No
guys were
idea.
just average. They were just average comics in the
Right.
circuit. They weren't.
Bernie got great, though. He
Oh my
really
God, he was my.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
He's
And there's a
actually
lot of comics that were
Jerry
great
But
Seinfeld's favorite
where
comic.
was this that you were talking
Wow.
about?
in Utah.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, in Utah?
Yeah,
He's one of my
'cause-
favorites. He's
'cause-
unbelievable.
Yeah, Bernie was.
Yeah, right. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Well, who was in the audience? What, Bernie Mac?
Oh yeah, no. Bernie Mac said that he was at the Apollo Theater when he was a young comic, and Red Fox was in the audience. And after the show, Red Fox came backstage, and of course, Bernie Mac went up to him and said, "Hey, what did you think of my act?" And Red Fox said, "You're pretty good, kid. The problem is you don't want to be good. You want to be liked." And Bernie Mac said, "I realized something about my act that day. That it's about you got to take chances. You got to
Sure.
do things different. You got to add something. You don't just do the joke, the easiest one, the one you know the audience is safe, the safe joke.
Yeah,
Everything else
that's
is-
great, man. And talking about if there's like younger comics watching this, that is incredible advice.
Yeah, and the other thing I would tell the young comics is like, it's so easy to get into this thing when you've got 12 minutes where you want to do your best 12 everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's okay, but I recommend you and I shouldn't be talking because I do the same fucking thing, but I fall into that.
We don't give advice we don't
No, but
follow.
I know what you're going to say, but listen, I listened to, this is a while back now, but like Jim Norton was saying, look, you don't have to kill on a Tuesday. Do some new stuff.
Yeah, right.
Try it out. You'll like your set better. And if you buy them, who cares? You can buy them on a Tuesday. And I took that to heart. And every set I did, I did at least like 3 new things.
And one of my mentors said, he said, open with something that you know works, close with something that you know works, put the new shit in the middle, play around. They will forgive all kinds of bombing in the middle if you look like a pro. You know, you come out open strong,
But they
close
know
strong.
you're kind of playing around with stuff, as opposed to like opening week with like new stuff or whatever that goes nowhere.
Right, and you got to be willing to change things up a little bit. I wrote this down about Kendra Landsberg. I hope she listens someday because I really admire Kendra Landsberg.
You're a good kid.
Yeah, me, Mo Mustafa, and AJ Haypenny and Kendra Landsberg were doing a private party Christmas show for this group of people. Wealthy people. They are fucking hammered. Okay.
My type of crowd.
AJ gets up there, and you know AJ, he either crushes or he's like, you know, almost, you know, kind of thing, depending on the group, right? So Mo gets up there, he struggles, right?
You think it's the bisexual shit that turns them on, or what?
I love AJ.
It's like flips a coin. I know.
They were just drinking. They weren't paying attention. Then Mo gets up there and he struggles.
I just saw him last Sunday.
And then I'm focusing on, you know, okay, what joke should I put where, and how can I make this? And I want to get them on my side, and I need to do this. And I'm really thinking this thing out. And I got up there, and I lived to fight another day. Nothing fucking great. Then Kendra Landsberg gets up there and says, she walks up to the front of the group. Everybody's talking. Everybody, she says, who's fucking? That's what she goes, who's fucking? And everyone's, the room fell apart. And she did 15 minutes, not one joke from her act.
Wow.
She crushed.
That's so great.
Yeah, because you're in an office. That's
and I learned something
It was
from
fucking...
that young.
In an office? It was in an
No, it was a Christmas party at a restaurant.
Oh, that was a corporate event. Sorry.
But it was a corporate
That's what I mean.
event. But
You're in a corporate event. Someone in the room's fucking...
I know, but then,
Someone's fucking somebody in there.
yeah,
I
right.
need a sound effect right now.
She just,
Sound chicken bear. Yeah.
I was thinking like a duck or something.
Crickets, maybe.
And she played off the room, and she did crowd work, and she did not do one joke from her act in 15 minutes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, though.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes
awesome.
that's what the private things they can go. Sometimes you overthink it, but sometimes it's not a good setup. Like you have a lot of things working against
Yeah,
you.
they had the little,
Office people are drunk.
they have the karaoke machine for your mic system,
Oh,
right with the
man.
cord that's like 3 feet long.
I get irritated too if the lights are up. If you know, like a giant room, giant lights, like everybody's lit, like it's noon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And
Let's introduce the comic and then
That's a
serve
tough
dinner.
one.
right here.
Oh, right.
Let's play clink, it all.
That's one of the things that like I was saying today. Actually, it's like I know that everyone loves comedy, and it was like, oh, well, we got to have comics here, and it's like comedy needs an environment. And if it's not
It
there,
does.
it's not going to happen. So like you can have someone stand up in a corner and tell jokes, but like unless it's like Stacy said, nicely lit, the energy's all compact and right in front of you because it's all just energy. And like,
This goes
That's,
back.
I like that you said environment because that's a really good way to put it.
This goes back to
People who wanna.
the importance of the host.
Yeah.
Because if you have any of those things are slightly off, it's the host's job to make that okay.
Right.
You know, the host should get up there and say, "Oh boy, this venue sure sucks." You know,
Right. But if I was hosting that show and I just watched who I like all three, AJ, Mo, and you did, you know, whatever, and then Kim was like, I'm just gonna go up there and say who's fucking, like right off. I'm like, hey, you
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want. I'm not gonna steer anything, and then obviously, because what if you talk some, hey, this is a corporate gig, don't do that, and then look what happened with it, like. So
yeah,
that's
and
where,
at the end of the day, everybody's going to get paid. Nobody's going to remember the next day.
Yeah.
But for us, it matters. We care.
oh yeah, of course.
But I got it's like I was telling a few comics. One of them, a dear friend of mine from California.
no name.
No, don't do it. You're already hesitant. You're sweating thinking about it.
No, she wrote a very heartfelt Facebook post about a terrible set she had.
Shelly does that instead of this.
Yeah, because that's how we learned.
That's how we learn.
That's
this
how we
is how
learn.
he writes. This is how we write.
Oh, that's funny.
I still do this.
Yeah, we got. Yeah,
Fuck off. Blocked.
What was that computer
Jay, are
thing
you
that
a
was just a
typewriter or you a
typewriter, but it
thumb
was
guy?
also that little screen? What was that thing called?
Oh, like a word processor.
Yeah, it was a processor, word processor. That's
no,
what it was.
the BlackBerry.
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 Oh no, not the BlackBerry. I'm talking before computers, but but outside of typewriters, there was a little tiny screen that you typed onto, and then it printed it out on the back. Word processor. That was a word processor. Yeah. No.
So Casey, go back to type. Yeah.
Oh, so what was I saying?
So you were talking to her.
Oh, yeah. So she wrote a very heartfelt Facebook post about bombing on a set in Detroit. She said, "Oh, I bombed the set last night. It was terrible. I did a terrible thing, and I learned some things." This and that. And I'm like, never post the fails.
Yes.
You don't post, "I bombed on a set last night." You just say, "Thanks a lot for the show. Great show. Had a lot of fun." Nobody gives a shit. Nobody remembers.
You just did that.
Can I bring your name up for this?
You just did that for me.
He did it for me as well.
And it means so much.
He did it for me, and it was very blunt. There was no like politeness behind it. It was like a "What the f are you doing with that last post?"
There you go.
And I immediately took it down.
And I learned a valuable lesson.
Yep.
You literally shared something that was extremely valuable to me that I would not have seen that perspective from. Goes back to why this show and why we do this is because you learn these things and you build those friendships.
I will never do it again.
That get people that have your back. It's just I'm not competing with anybody that ever comes to this show. I want to see everybody succeed.
Well, another thing, that comics.
There was going back to
go on.
I was in the Boston Comedy Festival. I made the first round. I put up a post about it, and there was like it wouldn't say negative wording, but like I didn't move on, right? But I was happy to be there. So like it was all in one thing, and immediately like I got a message from Casey, and I was like, "What are you doing writing that? Like take that down, put a positive spin on it. You're in. You got in. Like, and you're making it sound like you're like not happy about moving on, you know?" And I was like, "Oh man, he's right." But you didn't need to take the time to write that.
Exactly.
And it wasn't PC, the message you wrote me.
But he cared about your perception.
No, and he took the time out. And I'm like, this person, like,
and I can't thank you enough for that.
Yeah, and I will never do it again.
But another thing that comics make a big deal out of is what they were the semi-finalists of the first regional quadrant of in the contest, or you won the contest. That's it. That's
it.
all you.
You're either first or last.
Yes.
I mean, if I made it through the first round of preliminary trials of the regional, no, I was in the contest. Thanks a lot for the contest. Great contest.
That's
Had
awesome.
a lot of fun in the contest.
Yep.
So as a host, the first thing I do when everyone's in the room, Stacey, how much time you got? You're doing 20. Do you want a light? You might want a light at 17 or 18 and or you might
I'm
not
from
want
Boston. I don't need a light.
You don't need it, right? But the biggest thing I get is what people want for their intros. It's insane. Because sometimes they go, and I'm like, you've done 100 shows. I don't understand. Like, what are you changing?
No, and another thing is the comics are like, "Oh, I don't want to say all that much about me." It's like, I am selling $25 a seat fucking
seats for you.
Yeah, but like you got to be something.
Something, right?
You know,
right.
You played at the Comedy Store. Oh well, that was only once. She's at the Comedy Store. You might have seen her at the Comedy Store. You're making the show look good. That's the point.
Right, right. Or you have something coming up. Like if you were 2 weeks out of the Gothams, or and you want to say something like he's come.
It's funny how important that really is. Now that you guys are talking about it, like
Well,
I never really thought about it that way. Like you just explained it in such a perfect way that these people are here to see someone that's kind of
It's kind of doing a big thing.
Are doing big things.
Not to mention
Like it's just something though. You can't just be like, "Oh, and up next here comes Mr. Rue."
Yeah, but what did
Well, the winner circle, we can do that, but
Yeah, but what do people go to a comedy show for? They usually want to just forget about everything else they have going on, right? Or they got a babysitter for the night.
Right.
Yeah.
They want to just have an hour and a half of like.
Well, it's like
just...
we're talking name dropping here. They say, "Hey, what name dropping?" Say, "Damn right."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how we make fucking noise in this business. You got to drop the picture of you with the famous celebrity.
That's true.
I saw the guy at a newsstand in New York. They don't fucking know that. Hey, here's me catching up with Crown Cruise.
That's it. Right. Right.
Make noise, people.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
Right.
Like how RuPaul got famous? RuPaul.
Well,
he was. No, I will tell you, he was a nobody.
I can tell you what I know.
Drag queen. He went to to Atlanta, and he Skyped up a whole bunch of posters of himself all over town. And went, RuPaul is hot. RuPaul sizzles. RuPaul is in town. And he told everybody what to think of him.
Still working. Still working.
You know who did that? Lisa Lampanelli. She would hire guys to like bark for her in Times Square, and she would do this thing where she would rehearse the guy. Like if she had a small audience, she'd go, okay, you're the black guy, you're the gay guy, you're the this, and so she like developed almost like contrived crowd work with that. But that's just a gimmick she used, and then she had these guys do all this flyering and stuff. So she would kind of make a big deal. So that's what I heard.
Yeah, for comics that don't know what barking is, it's something that you need to do. It's when you stand out in front of the venue of the show and you try and get people to come in. Hey, comedy show. We had a comedy show right in here. Hey, you look funny. You want to go see it? Hey, you want to
sell tickets? You're out there.
Is that kind of lost now with social media, though?
No, New York, they still do it. Like he was talking about the Grizzly.
Well, I was going to say, you kind of almost have to be in a city-style place to do that. You can't be in Portsmouth fucking Rotary Circle.
No,
you still could, like, let's say...
like Portsmouth downtown?
Yeah, exactly. Some of these, like, bar shows where it's like where Kendra show is. You mentioned Kendra, like, it's kind of a suburb, but there's a little center of town. You just hand out things at different, like...
Okay. But now you're on a show. It's like you're going to be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. You can join a Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Like what's going on in Portsmouth, you post there.
Yeah.
So you can do all this stuff.
Some of those pages don't like when you do that.
I saw Geneva Gonzalez. The same kind of concept is that she has that blend show in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah. Yep.
And she had like 5 seats sold for the show. She set a sandwich board out on the sidewalk in Portsmouth in front of the venue with the QR code on it. And the comedy show. 45 seats in 2 hours.
Was there a sandwich? Was there a sandwich or just the...
No, just the board.
It wasn't a charcuterie board of sandwiches.
That's what I'm thinking. If she had that,
we would have shown up.
I guess I'm hungry.
Where's the sandwich?
So it's just the QR codes? And
she had a big sign out in front.
Well, that's
sitting there with the QR code and Comedy Tonight.
Yep.
And then when you hit the QR code, it's going to tell you who's on the billing, where to buy your tickets that year.
So one of the promoters...
I don't know that would always work. That seems like she got lucky.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is when the traffic is there,
you put a big poster.
Right. She said the QR
I'd do better with
code
handing
made all the
sandwiches
difference.
out, and getting a free show with the purchase of a sandwich.
The QR code. The QR code.
That's how I'm gonna get like RuPaul. I promise.
Are you dressed like in a pink unitard? Like,
yeah.
So
my wife.
My wife's a wizard, Slick.
I did a show a month
with a Z. So
with a Z, right?
A month ago.
Like Liza with a Z?
Yeah, it's Tommy's thing.
That's my
Tommy's thing.
Yeah. Z's.
That's it?
Yeah, Y's.
Handies with the...
Y's.
It's Tommy Wyers.
So wait, how does that connect to RuPaul?
Oh, you don't want
to.
So if he puts that up with a picture of him and then gets billboards that says Tommy's sizzling, he's got to be like, shocking himself.
The show's going off.
Sizzling hot dogs.
Yeah. Best. So talk about barking. So I did a show a month ago with a promoter, Booker. You guys know who he is. But he has a show in Algonquin, Maine. And
we know
the weather was changing. And he still makes little flyers with the QR code. And he's like, I'm going to get up there at 5. Show doesn't start till 7. And I'm going to hit every,
restaurant.
Yeah, and he sees a couple eating. He's like, I don't know if you're doing this night. It's like that's old school. Like
that is old school.
We did that. I DJ'd at Hampton Beach, and that was our way to get people into the dance club because they're walking the strip back and forth, and it's like
if people don't know that guy's running like 30 shows a night.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh yeah,
he has piano bars and all kinds of stuff.
He has unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I think he has a little bit less shows than I think he has, but that's all right.
He told me recently he went down to Florida. Or to Aruba Rays.
Yeah.
He went to Aruba Rays to do a weekend, and during the day he was out busking for himself.
Yeah.
And doing balloon tricks because he's a street clown from the old days.
He was on Stupid Human Tricks on
Letterman.
That's before your time because you were blowing yesterday.
No, I know what Stupid Human Tricks was. I do. He was on twice.
He was like blowing pennies or something.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know if anyone knows. He went to clown school.
Oh, he did.
He got into clown school.
Yeah, he went to Barnum and Bailey was down in Florida.
No, for real.
So he said during the day he was out making
Yeah, it's a
balloon
thing. I knew
animals.
some guys.
He's out making balloon animals and busking for himself, and then doing 2 shows a night.
Yeah, he spent years
makes
on
money
with
all day long.
He had a street permit. He was a performer at Faneuil Hall and stuff. He is. He obviously knows who we're talking about right now, but we haven't said his name yet.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, so like
He must have a frequent flyer card for the Coke. I don't know what he's fucking doing.
So yeah, type A.
just-
Type A.
He is, man. He is.
hey man, he just has a path and he's just on it.
Good dude, though.
Yeah, hard to keep up with something
Good
like
dude.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
so
we need guys like that to put together shows. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Always
Because
me
his
doing all
audiences
that.
are my audiences. Like I go in these like Booker's in Boston. I love you. I want to do your shows.
Not even that many of us.
I know. Booker's in
One
Boston.
game in town now.
They have the shows. They're like, you know, the oldest person in the room is 24. Like I did the Lincoln Lodge up in Portland, Maine. I did all right in there. But I'm doing this. Hey, anybody married?
Not anymore.
Okay, anybody got
Crickets.
Anyway,
Crickets.
Nobody in the room over 25.
No.
You know,
They're like
I'm
Any kids?
non-binary and
No.
cis and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyone
Let
have
me
a
do a Gerald
job?
Ford joke for you. I'm sure you're gonna love it.
I don't want to say this in a bad way, but as a New Hampshire comic, a lot of my shows in New Hampshire and Maine, and when you're outside of Boston, like what is your thing? Like from you guys being from Boston, the thing is you want to get into that like scene, right? So working with a Boston comic, like 5 or 6 shows I've worked with this kid. He's from Boston, and it's Alex Giampalma, right? So I'm working with Alex, and he's just like, I've done more shows with you over 3 years than I've done with like Boston
There's
comics.
no scene in Boston.
He's like,
none.
well, I'm not in that. I was zero.
Yeah.
I'm not in that game. I'm not in that clique. I'm not in that scene. Like, would I love to be at some point? But like, I feel
I don't
that
even know what
crowd-
the scene is.
There's no delivery mechanism,
There's no
so like,
clubs.
there's no
There's
clubs.
where?
And
That's
now
the only game.
But they're coming
they
here.
make the pop-up
Yeah.
clubs like the Boston Comedy.
Yeah, the pop.
Yeah.
As, you know, and also the Don't Tells and all that stuff are doing well for comedy. But they appeal to that. I'm not saying I will crush in your room if your audience is 25 or less, but I prefer 35 to 50. That's like, you know.
So you better keep coming to New Hampshire.
I will
and Maine,
really
Stacey.
crush when they're 35 to 50.
I just,
But I actually have some jokes that group won't get,
Right,
and the young
right.
guys do. You know.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? Like, this has to be part of it. In Boston, there's so much to do, right? And not only so much, there's different comedy. Like, when you go do a show in some back road town of Maine,
nothing else to
that's
do.
like their Friday night.
Yeah.
So a lot,
Oh, yeah.
but the difference you learn, or at least I've learned, because I've, a lot of these movie theaters have shows now, right? Like the Chunkies and the Smitties. There's people that love those shows so much they come out, and they come out like that's their Friday night. So like you'll see the manager of the movie theater, something be like, we have 30 repeat customers every week. So
No,
you
I
gotta
agree.
you gotta have new.
They closed the Nashua one though.
They closed Nashua and
Yeah, Chucky, but the Smitties is the best of Boston Comedy Festival. Those shows are always packed.
I love those.
They are
Where's
packed.
that one? Did I do that one?
The Smitties are like Top
way up.
Sim,
Wyndham,
Wyndham,
Sanford, and Tilton, New Hampshire.
And those are places where, like you say, where the people like, we either go to the movies on Friday or we can get a live show. What?
Yes.
At the
Yeah.
same place? What?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And they're into it.
I
Yeah,
sort of
and they
wish
get
that it was
drinks
a
and
different
all that
venue,
stuff.
but you got to go with the people.
I know.
Yeah, the venues.
Well, at least they
That's
get
not
drinks
perfect.
and all that stuff.
They get drink and they
The
eat.
Chunkies are, I don't know why the dynamic is worse.
Because the rooms are huge. I think that's part of the problem.
And
Those
environment.
giant seats. Yep.
So there's a show as a host where you just have to like. I don't even know if your job is to be funny. I think your job is to just let the people know they're actually at a comedy
I
show.
think so,
They're
yeah.
getting
Yeah.
their burgers, they're getting milkshakes, they're getting beers. It's like, all right, I'm kicking the show off, and the waitress is like, here's your burger, and they're like, ketchup, fry, and you're like,
Oh, it's
okay,
a lot.
Yeah.
like I'm not like.
It's like they watch TV.
That's a
Right, I mean,
lot.
that's
a lot.
Is a host ever gonna
Yeah,
crush
people
in that
shoving
environment?
food in their
Yeah,
face.
right. And then the third comic gets up and they're crushing. They're like, oh, the table's cleared off. They're on the second drink, right?
That's it.
Like they don't. The doors open at 6 type thing.
But I will tell you
Friday
something,
night,
though.
it's really hard for someone to get there at 6. So they're showing up at 6:55. Like show starts at 7, and they're putting in their food order right when they sit down. You're
But
like,
listen, if you have a negative perspectives to shows, will always breed that kind of contempt in you.
No,
I mean, it's like
Yes.
I mean, you have
True.
to, you have to stay frosty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, optimistic.
Because when we talk, oh, this crowd's gonna suck, and then they are.
Yes.
They-
Oh yeah.
You're almost manifesting it.
Well, no, they always
I'll
surprise
give you an
me.
example. Name drop.
I guess they manifest at least
name drop.
once an episode.
At least
just to
once.
piss off Jay and Sean.
Universe.
No, say the word avails, and Jay's gonna punch a hole in the wall.
Okay, when I was working in Vegas,
Just straight
I dropped
risen.
when I was working in Vegas, I dropped
No
over
mid.
to the Catch a Rising Star, which was at the MGM back in that day. Now
I
it's
remember
Brad.
that one.
Yeah, now it's Brad Garrett's room
Yes.
or whatever.
I
Yeah,
wanna
that's
work- I
right.
want to work that so
I was
bad.
there. I just went on that
So
one. Yeah.
this room, I sat like 1 million fucking people. I mean, huge. And it was a 2 p.m. matinee.
Oof.
This is just a show I had to try the
Yeah.
manager to see me, whatever.
That's cool.
30 people in the room for a room that seats like 500. And they didn't seat them, and so they're spread out all over the place. So next I got to oh, this is gonna suck. And then I do my set, and I suck, and I'm all just okay. And it's not. I said, well, I live to fight another day. What do they want from that? You know, what
Yeah.
do they expect from
Right.
this?
Sure.
Kermit Apio got up there after me, fucking killed, crushed,
Really?
erupting audience. There's bouncing in their seats and that. And I learned that day, and I'm like, you know, you can't. You got to play the show like it's gonna.
Right.
Like you can make this happen. You can make.
Yeah.
If anybody, you can make these people laugh.
That's awesome.
And that's the way to play. And after the show, the funniest thing, you know, managers will often say, you know, if you're really, really great in the show, they go, "Good job."
Okay.
If you do, that's standing ovation stuff. Okay.
Good job.
If you do great, they say, "Thank you."
Oh.
That's interesting.
Right.
That's a
So
good-
what I got that night was
So my wife
yeah.
says.
So Kermit Apio got, "Hey, great job, Apio." I got nice.
Good job.
Suit.
Thank you.
They looked at me, what nice suit.
Nice suit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's interesting. So if you like have a great set, they go,
Baseline.
"Thank you."
Yeah. You have a
You
great set.
annihilate, they go, "Good job."
Yeah.
No,
right?
opposite.
They say, "Good job."
Opposite. Oh, it was
And then
good
I got
job.
nice suit.
And then the really good was thank you. That was the pinnacle, right? Thank you was the pinnacle.
No, he said
No,
thank you
thank
is
you
when
is
you
the-
just do
it's just-
that's a mess.
Oh,
You
that's
accomplished
just
it,
enough.
Thank you.
If you killed it, it was good job.
Yeah. Standing ovation. Good job.
Huh.
And then if anything less than that, like nice suit.
Nice suit, dude. Nice shoe.
Well, let's not be cynical.
Shiny suit. Shiny suit.
I'm gonna name drop a local comic that I love. Steve York, love you, brother. He gave me a bit of advice on the show I was hosting. He's like, "We're performing for the people that bought tickets.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the empty seats." Because in my head, I'm like, I'm hosting. I know like he's funny. I respect him, and I feel like bad. Like even as a host, I feel bad. Like we did.
I remember this
You know,
show.
it was like a half-filled room still, but to me, I'm still like, oh, like, and like, not his fault. Middle of summer, downtown, like, and he's just like, hey, I'm
Playing it.
performing
you're
for the
playing
people that want to be.
And he
And that's
crushed
especially-
it.
But also, what you said,
Oh,
like,
And he crushed it.
More than that, but like people walked out like that was a great show. I'm like, oh my god, he did exactly.
yeah. But
what
and
he
here's
said.
the thing: what you said, what just said, you said like you were in your head. Like that's another thing you get learned to
Yeah.
not to.
Yeah.
Because like we can overthink it, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna try to do this bit, and then
So
then you-
easy.
too much in your head and not enough in just like
Yeah.
In the moment. Yeah. You
Yeah.
got to be present.
That's
like
good. That's good.
performing it
That's
and not thinking while you're performing.
great
And the other
advice.
thing I would say is that especially in the rooms in like Boston, like you're going to someplace, do a set like Democracy Brewing, or what, don't worry about what the comics think of your set.
Yeah.
Who gives a
Crowd
fuck?
gives a
The audience is who you're making
Yeah,
laugh.
yeah. So I
Like we were talking about Joe Trammell, funny freaking guy. If he did his act in front of these Boston comics, they'd look at him like he had fucking 5 heads.
He's funny. I like.
But he will pack a room. He will make them laugh. They will, you know, and that's the job.
yeah. Well,
That's one thing I learned over the years is like, you you complain about farting guitar comics or whatever, but the guy packs a room.
Yeah.
Or he
He's
gets laughs the whole time.
He's working.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, he's been in the business 20 years. They've never heard of the guy. He's making his weekly
respected.
pay,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Well,
So one thing
awesome.
I did is
Respect.
I work clean. I want to like that's the way I write. I work clean, and I was always nervous of going up after 2 people or one person that crushes that's not clean. And you know, some of the mentors I have, they were just like, "Do your set. Don't change your set.
Don't
Like,
change. Don't
Yeah.
try to. Especially, I would say never go from clean to dirty because somebody before you was
Right.
blue. You
Right.
got to. Clean always works.
Yeah.
Clean always works when it's done right.
It's in your head though when you're listening to
Yeah,
it.
it's
Well,
all-
it's
it
funny.
always
Like
works.
one of my New York gays, he's like, "Oh, "Hey, can you hire someone like so and so?" I won't say who it is, but like,
Yeah.
He goes, "But they kind of have to be clean because it's like a corporate thing." And I'm like, "Listen," I go, "Who he was talking about is like filthy and does only crowd work, all crowded. Those are two, I don't want to say crutches, but I'm going to say they're kind of two crutches.
Right.
So he kills. And I said to my buddy, I go like, that doesn't exist. That clean, it doesn't exist.
Right.
Clean, I'm not saying it's not good, but you know what I mean? It's almost like, it's definitely.
You can't tell a guy to say, "Hey, be like that guy, only clean." It's like, no.
It's just like,
Yeah.
They always do that for corporate gigs.
Yeah, right.
Hey, come like a table and pop up.
Remember Jeff Allen?
Oh, yeah.
So squeaky, right?
Yeah.
Squeaky clean. It's the funniest person you ever saw.
Brian Regan.
Brian
Brian Regan,
one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Never blew.
I never even thought of that with Brian Regan.
Yeah, and he also defies the ageism thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to think like, but he got famous before he was old. But you know, since I'm getting to this age where I'm like, nobody likes old comics.
Right.
And then I got to remind myself,
Rodney.
Bullshit.
Rodney's
Well,
one of
they're-
the best.
besides all the good guys are getting old, like Chappelle's fucking 60.
Dude.
You know, they're all.
I think
Age
Chappelle
doesn't
does.
matter in comedy. That's the best part. Age doesn't matter in comedy. It really doesn't.
Well, it does.
No, but those,
You get to be 63, you'll find it matters.
It's
no,
like
but not those
perfect,
people.
man.
That he already built a crowd at 25 that have followed him for 40 years. Like I'm gonna always watch something Chappelle does.
Yeah.
You know, like like I don't know if he's gaining new traction, but he already built such a huge fan base of like.
But you know,
Yeah, but
for
then it's all
all
out.
us. I mean, you don't want to get down or like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's the point I'm making is that the comics, and also to young comics, this is something I've had to do for myself. Don't try to be like the other guy. Like I've done this stuff where I'm going to all the mics to see, the trending is, pegging jokes are trending. I need to write one of those. Like, no, you don't.
Hawk to
No,
it.
you don't.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah, hop to it. No.
and then the other thing is, so if you're doing too many mics, right? You see these guys, they learn bad habits from each other because they're not doing shows with a headliner. He'll go, hey, don't do that. Ask, I did the light yet? Oh my God, what? Stop.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Now I gotta
What
use
else?
the
What
fill
else?
the
What
time.
else is
Yeah,
going on?
No, you know what? You had to laugh. Get off stage. Get the fuck off.
Right.
You don't want to do more time. Oh, am I like time up yet?
So going back to the Red Fox advice, like with social media wasn't out then, like early 90s, whatever. So like, what do you feel about like comics that come out? Like that could work against you where you're like, I'm going to go rogue. That's my style. Someone, catches a joke on their phone, either posts it or shares it, or you put up the wrong joke, hits social media and it touches on a political note, touches on a racist note. And like now you
Canceled.
well, maybe not even canceled because maybe you're at my level, but it just hurts you for like a booker sees it and says like, I don't know if I could trust this guy.
That's it.
You probably don't want them. You don't want a gig if a guy thinks you're not a good fit for the gig.
If you're a booker out there and you heard that, I want the gig.
It's hard.
Just want to let you know I want the gig.
One of the hardest things has been for me to accept is that not every comic is great for every gig. I mean, I can look at rooms, I could kill in there.
Nah.
The booker doesn't see me as a fit. I'm not a fit.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, but maybe it's my crowd. It's great. If they don't see me if I don't fit in that show, that they're within their rights not to put. I mean, what's the matter with you not booking me?
Right.
It's like,
And the other thing is, when you start putting together shows, you realize there's so many comics, and you only have a show every like 3 months or something. There's only so many comedians.
Right.
They got to get the headliner and an opener.
and you want somebody
Tons
that's
of
good. You
people
don't
you
want to
wanna
just get, hey, let me
but the
take this person off the bench. I only do 3 shows a year.
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because I used to I did a show at Greenwich once a month. I did a show for 3 years at Greenwich Village Comedy Club. It was so much fun. But I know there were some people that were mad at me. I didn't even know. Like, do you think I have all this time to be sifting through these people? Like, I have to book my friends because they book me, and also I know they're going to show up and do a good
And you know
job.
how good they're
And half the time, some of those people, the people weren't like my ride or die, but some of these comics would cancel on
On
me.
the fritz, yeah.
I go, I put up, this is like a stunt because
Like
it's
you
Sunday.
canceling Greenwich Village Comedy Club?
Yeah,
You
how
got
did
some
they-
nerve.
I'm telling you. I'm
You got
telling
some
you.
nerve.
I'd
It
have to
took me a
run down
year
to the
to get in
fair
that
and
room.
get comics.
Yeah, it took me a year to get in that room. Yeah,
Yeah,
it took a long time. So yeah, people that don't. That's the other thing. Comics show up for your shows.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Don't
Be
flake.
professional.
Dress
man.
nice. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and dress. Yeah, dress.
Do either of you two choose to use your? I know you said you make skits. Do your skits like?
I just laugh because it's so ridiculous.
Do they portray your stand up, or is it something completely different?
No, it's like I'm this mob character. So
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. I love that you're doing some of the fun stuff.
the ones we shot in Vegas, right? This one was so great because like it was one of those things where I got the venue, like I was telling you, like I had written them, and that it was this one specific one I wanted to do. it just worked out. All my buddies who do stand up, who were always on the road, were all in Vegas at the same time, who I cast. Then we get there, and I'm like, I had to get this. I had to get a magician because I had written this. I swear to God, we went to a little cocktail thing, and this guy with crazy fucked up hair was there. Murray the magician. He was like on AGT. And he wants to do it. I go, this is weird. I'm shooting like a webisode thing like in a couple of days. Would that interest you? He's like, yeah, totally. And I'm like, then we, trying to think what else fell into place. But the venue that we used was like, there was a huge stage. There was like a huge fancy bar. There was a backstage. There was a dressing room. There was all that. So it's like having like 8 locations in one location. Right. Sorry.
That's okay.
But I'm excited. And, what's funny is, so I ordered a gun, right? So we're waiting for the gun to come in because it's like a mob thing, right? And so it doesn't come in time, so we have to use a bat.
Oh, man.
Anyway, it's only like 10 minutes long, but like it was so much fun to shoot.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Casey, do you put up social media that like
what I put up on
to sell like your product or your
what I do is I took a couple of workshops for whatever it's worth from like Jackie Cashian was doing one and Liz Meal did another one where it was just like 10 of us on a Zoom call and they said I do this and this and this. So Liz Meal is a good person.
Yeah, she's a New York comic. What's the thing then? Just like social media?
Yeah, just like how she gets followers and what she does and how often she posts and what kind of stuff she posts. And Jackie Cashian did the same thing. And what I derived from them that is the right fit for me, although I'm not doing it like I should, is just taking clips from shows. You take a clip from a show. And I don't concern myself with this, but most comics, like
a clip
Sam
from
Morril,
a show that's a written joke?
No,
or like
Sam Morril or Mark Norman or whatever, the clips that they take from their shows are always throwaway jokes. It's always some crowd work or some throwaway thing because they're never going to give away
a written joke.
Because they got to do an hour. They have specials.
Right.
And
you're feeding right into my next question.
Another thing I would tell comics to be careful about is about doing their whole set, online and that. Even though I might like to do a TV show and have you do it, but if you have to take it down, do it because if you're going to go on late night TV, they don't want any of your stuff to be out there.
Okay.
They don't want like if Angela Johnson did that great bit on
the nail lady?
Beautiful nails.
Yeah.
That she did the Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Okay, if that thing went viral first before she did TV, they'd be like, we don't want
got TV.
Yeah, you don't.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I thought it did go viral.
What's that?
I thought it did go viral. The nail thing.
Yeah, it did. But I'm saying if she got that before she got TV, or they said we don't want that.
You already
that's out there.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So most of those comics, like Sam Morril and that, I find you'll find that they're always taking, Pete Lee is another one. They're taking questions from the audience or they're, interacting slightly with the audience. And Pete Lee, he'll set up GoPro cameras, shooting the audience and cameras out so he can, zoom in on somebody or whatever.
But it's like the throwaway line, or even just like something like me making fun of. Like I've posted a couple of things like that.
Now, me, I'm
I
not
just
worried
set
about
up the
my
top
act.
of my head.
Yeah, I'm not worried about my act, so I post my best stuff.
Right.
I'm serious. I post jokes from my act, and I don't do crowd work.
Right.
So
Sure.
So there's nothing like that in there to do,
Good.
So the other thing I was going to say is like talking about blue versus clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a personal story for what it's worth, but I learned to work clean when I started in the business, and clean was always best. They always said, if you don't work clean, you won't do TV. This is in the 90s,
Yeah.
And so for me, the Bernie Mac thing, the taking risks was cussing. Taking risks was doing a joke about Jesus.
Okay.
Like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotcha.
So I went off the range of pure, clean comedy so that I could take those risks and force myself to.
Gotcha.
Right.
Not as to use as, to add the F word into every line as a crutch or whatever, but it was to,
Right.
I'm going to tell a joke about Jesus. I never would have done that
Right.
in 1992.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Can I break for a second? I just want to let everyone know that when Tommy edits this, he's going to have a little bell show up in the corner, and you have to take a drink every time Casey names drop. We're going to see who's not. We're going to see who's not drunk by the end of this episode.
Yeah.
That's impossible. So going back to one of the things is I've told that use throwaway jokes or write something about the venue or something like that up front to do crowd work. When you put that out there, if say you do whatever 5 shows a month, and every time you get a 1-minute clip for those, you're almost selling yourself as a crowd work comic in a way, and you're not.
No, I don't think so.
But
Because most people, because the average person who watches a clip doesn't know the difference, and the people who do know the difference probably understand that you're putting your throwaway stuff on a.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, but a lot of the big comics, all their things crowd work.
Yeah.
Matt Rife is strictly a crowd work. Like, I think.
Well, I mean, the
do you
stuff
guys
that they-
notice
the video, the shorts,
Like the reels
that they put out are usually, oh, you think that too?
Yeah.
Them
Oh,
interacting
right,
with the person in the audience.
So over the time that you guys have done comedy, have you noticed that people want crowd work, or do you notice like the audience trying to say stuff is more now than before, or no?
No, but I'm just thinking about like what we're talking about, because like you guys are new comics. Like I would, every set you do, try to tape it and take one joke out of there, whether it's just a joke you don't care about or if it's like a riff, something like if you're hosting, you're gonna riff anyway, right?
Yeah.
Take that and put that on a reel and put it up.
So, right,
So one a week or whatever. So I mean, you guys do shows every week, right?
we do, and
so I would do what? Tell
it's been
yourself
so
you're gonna do-
beneficial.
I'm so friggin' old.
and, and
I'm
when you
not gonna
capture,
change,
you
but-
capture the moments that aren't going
That's
to
what it
happen
is.
again.
Right. So I just did one on
That's
Richard.
it,
I did one on Richard Simmons the other day. I'm like, oh, it's really tough. Richard Simmons passed away. Very influential in my life as a kid. I was little. He was running around dancing around on the TV screen in women's bathing suits and purple and pink shorts. I asked my dad, Dad, what's going on with this? So my dad looks at me and he says, Tommy, he's a happy guy. He exercises a lot. He's very influential for people. He's gay, but when my dad said gay, he meant happy. He meant he was a good happy guy. So I looked at my dad and I said, Dad, you're happy. Are you gay? Right? So my dad looks at me and he goes, Tommy, let me tell you one thing in this house. There's no boys, no men being raised in this house to fucking exercise. So I cut that one and I put that one as a.
That's good.
As
You
one
know,
of my-
Pauly Shore made a movie about him. It's like a short.
Yeah,
No, I haven't seen it, but I heard that he was gonna play him in that.
Yeah.
that guy was he was unbelievable. I remember
was good. I thought
the women that even just in that age, in that '90s era, man, the women that were losing weight with that guy. It's crazy.
Well, he was probably smart. If you studied what he did with show business, right? Because he did all those shows.
Right.
The Dinah Shore, maybe, all those older shows.
Oh, he was on like every morning show, every
Donahue.
midday.
every
Yeah.
morning show. Yes.
I bet his whole life thing, his story is interesting.
So at the tail end of his life, it's actually kind of sad because he kind of went into like he became a recluse, and he ended up staying to the point where people had to do health and wellness checks on him.
Yeah.
Because of how recluse he was. Yeah, it was kind of
Well,
sad.
sometimes maybe anything could have happened. He could
Right.
have had an illness. Or,
Right.
I'm gonna ask a question.
bring
I'm
it
gonna ask.
down.
I'm gonna ask a question to bring the heat back up, and this is
Yeah,
gonna
let's
go,
do it.
It's gonna go to all 4 of you, and I might even answer it myself, but just to see where your heart's at. And I'll start with Jay on this one. Jay, seeing where your heart is at. Would you rather be famous as a comic and not be able to act, or famous as an actor and never be able to do stand-up?
Ooh, it's a good question.
That seems to be the question of the year, actually.
This is it. We're all getting it, so think about your answers, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with stand up, man. That's you leave with who you came to the dance with.
I like it, Jay. I like it, Jay. All right, moving on to Casey. Famous as a comic, never be able to act, or famous as an actor, never be able to do stand-up?
It's a hard one for you.
It is.
I
hard.
wanna see what-
I hate to leave acting, but I think I'd probably choose acting because I can act in comedies. I can act in funny things. I can act.
But you would never be able to do stand-up.
I don't do I'm not going to do stand up on the
Okay.
stage, but I could act in things that are funny and. It's like there's a lot of funny actors that you go, like I don't want to see Jack Black stand up. He's not,
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll watch any movie that he's in because he's hysterical.
Yeah, like Zach Galifianakis, that's his name. He
Yeah.
just crushes it in every scene. All right, Stacy. Famous
Well-
as a comic that can never act, or famous as an actor that can never do stand-up?
I mean, so here's the money wise, right? I would
No.
say acting. Wait, no, I'm gonna give you the real answer. You're right. I go, oh, that's acting because the money's better. But if I'm gonna be honest, the honest answer is I would pick stand up.
Yes. Tommy Wires.
I'm not doing either at this point. So this is pretty easy for me. I'm just gonna stick to eating Cheetos in my chair at night, and no, I think the end of the line goal, I don't know. It's going to be stand up. Like acting sounds great, but I just love the feeling of being on stage doing comedy.
Yeah, you know what happens is right when you don't have a show, like it's like a whatever August, and you, like the weekend goes by, you're like, what's wrong with me? And you're like, oh, I need to get on stage.
That's right. That's right.
Right. So role me would be stand up.
Somebody told me the other day I look like Larry King's evil twin. Gets a big laugh early on and breaks the ice. So in my look likes, it's like when you're a young comic. When you're a young comic, you know, you can do these look likes. Hey, I look like Tom Cruise if he was at rehab. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
You know, then you get to be my age. You're like, I don't know. I get, like I know. Like my latest one is if there was a PlayStation game called Fox News, I look like the big boss you have to defeat before you can save Greta Thunberg. That's that.
King Koopa? King Koopa?
So yeah, you have to come up with all these.
Larry King is good. I like Larry.
Yeah, Larry King. Yeah, and the guy's been dead for fucking years. He still haunts me, and I couldn't. I had to be his evil twin. Okay?
Yeah, it's like dick jokes. They're funny until you realize yours isn't growing anymore.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Larry King.
Larry King. I got a question for you.
He was married to Sean Southwick, who did a show, an Access Hollywood show. It was produced by my cousin.
Okay. We're rolling again. This is all going on the show. This is all going on the show. Casey, I got a question for you. First things first. What you keep referring to, clean comedy or blue comedy? And you've referred to it so many times today. I feel ignorant and old or young. I mean,
you're young.
What is blue?
Yeah.
Dirty.
Yeah. Blue is when you work dirty.
Yeah.
Blue is when you work dirty.
Like
anybody know where that was conceived from?
I don't know. Lenny Bruce.
Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, probably.
Because he was first called blue comedy. And a lot of people don't realize some unusual things in the business, like Bob Saget. Who does it? America's Funny. He's the fucking bluest.
Dirty.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So funny though. You ever hear him on Mark Maron?
Yeah.
It's such a good interview.
Yeah,
they are so funny because they're like friends.
Bob Saget, and Norm Macdonald, those two together.
Norm Macdonald's one of my favorite only because he is
so funny.
He is the epitome or definition of a guy that does not care what's going to come out of his mouth.
He doesn't.
In front of any audience, live on TV. Like, he did not
His
care.
podcast is the best. He crossed more lines in his podcast than on TV shows.
Yeah, what roast was that? I was telling you guys he didn't want to do the roast. He didn't want, and he said, okay, I'll do it as long as you let me do whatever I want. Can't tell me what to do. So he goes on and he bombs. He does like corny, terrible jokes. And he's getting laughs. And he's like, I just love that he goes so far out of his way to not do well. And he still does well.
Yeah, to walk.
Ribal dry or body?
Are you trying to look up blue
comedy? Yeah.
Origins or something? Or
Bodiness or being body? Like humor?
Body.
Subversive sometimes. Yeah. Interesting. Blue comedy.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you actually, complete somebody with your mouth.
Do you guys know? All right. Hold on. Reverse that. I'm gonna pull it. You guys know what Riz actually stands for? When you hear Riz, well, people are like, oh, he's got Riz.
Yeah, I do.
My kids are 9 and 12.
Oh, okay.
That actually stands for charisma.
Oh, he's got Riz.
That's what Riz
My son doesn't let
for.
me use any of those words.
Oh, you should. I use them all day.
I said the other day, hey, I have to go see them IRL. He goes, you can't say that. But it's somehow it's like cultural appropriation.
No, you can say it all day.
They're fad. They're not going to stick. None of these words are going to stick. None of these words are going to stick.
Straight Sigma.
No.
All right.
All right, last question. I'm going to go and I can even start. All of us can answer this. I'll start with Mr. J on this. Before you get on stage, Jay, at a show, whether you're hosting or performing, what is your ritual? The reason I ask, as a host, I noticed that my ritual is to just act like everything's normal until my name's called on stage. And I realize that some people want to be left alone. Some people want to be talked to. Some people want to sit in the corner by themselves. Jay, when you're just on a show and not hosting, do you have a ritual before your name's called?
Yeah, I just usually sit with my little book of hieroglyphics and then pretend that what I wrote down is legible, and I just watch all that information leave my head until it's time to get on stage. But hosting something different, man. You be in touch with everybody and in touch with
it's work.
Yeah, like even the seating people, like in the beginning of the night is like when that starts, and but yeah, I like to be kind of like left alone until I get off stage, just so I can not, But nerves also, I don't get them until there's like a new level. Like there's always that base level of, like Stacy said, like if you're not like like nervous before a show just a little bit, it's not good. But like when you go and do different shows, like he's like, oh, there's a different place of doing comedy. That's when you get nervous, like for me. But yeah, no, I'm a lone cat. I like to be left alone.
I also just about the nerves thing. Like if you just take a couple of deep breaths and jump up and down, it's just like it'll just pass.
Yeah, if you do comics, I would
Like a
tell
pre-fight.
them the best advice that I ever heard was to memorize your opening and your closing.
Yeah, gotta have it.
Okay.
So this is the second time I did this. And everything. Okay, glad you're here. So I went downtown. Yes, it's like just fucking get out there and boom, hit your first joke.
Like breaking the ice right off the
just
rip.
Nail it with confidence, and then you're closing, and then that's better. For
right, because if you're sort of stammering or trying to find it in the beginning, the audience kind of
right, and then you got to earn it back.
Yeah, then you got to earn it. That's right.
So
They had I just saw really the other day that at the Olympics, every news reporter approaches all the Olympic athletes and they says, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous today? Are you nervous?" Every single person that's in the Olympics says, "No, I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to do this. I'm excited. I want to be here. I want to."
Those dumb newscasters. The better question.
Exactly, but it's like that's their perception trying to place it onto that guy.
Right.
But yours.
That's why people going, "How do you get up there?" You're like,
right.
"Shut up."
When you're an athlete and you're at that stage of the of your performance, there's no nerves.
Right.
You're excited to
Yeah,
finally
'cause you're
perform.
good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tommy, what's your ritual before you get up? Before your name's called to be brought to the stage?
The song "War" from Lowrider.
You listen to it?
Is it really?
On the ride there, yeah.
No, not your call out. Like that's your ritual to listen to that
I
before you get
listen to that
called?
song when I'm driving to the.
That's your eye of the tiger.
And then once I get there, once I get there, I literally have my joke book, but I know what my set's gonna be. I know what my set's gonna be, but I literally just go there and I really embrace the moment and I enjoy the time and I talk with the comics and I talk to the people, the staff. I don't know. I don't. I mean, maybe I should be more nervous, and I'm not. But I just
no, that is your ritual, though.
I just enjoy myself. Like I'm like, yeah, man, I'm on a show. This is great. You guys ready tonight? And they're all sitting there going like, ugh.
Yeah, but that's their ritual, right?
All nerved up, and I'm like, I'm here right now. It's gonna go great. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I've worked on shows with Casey before, so he's seen me host, and he knows that my ritual is to just act normal until my name's called. But I have to give people space because I don't know what theirs are. It's not like I walk up and go, "Hey, Stacey, I know your headline tonight. What would you like me to do for the next half an hour before I call your name?"
Yeah.
Like some people setting up their tripod, some people some people pacing out in the hallway.
Yeah.
no comic likes you to talk to him in the 2 minutes before.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, we're all there before before I even get up, and I'm asking you, like, what do you want for an intro? What do you want? And then at some point, you see some people kind of like find another place to sit, and I'm like, okay, they want to be left alone. Mm-hmm. So, Casey, do you have a ritual before you go out?
You tell me what my ritual is. I bet you know.
First time I saw Casey was in Bristol, New Hampshire, at Kathleen's Cottage, going on stage. First time I ever saw him go up.
And his pregame
And
ritual?
he's just sitting at the table, his legs crossed. He's got his things. He's just chilling out, drinking a drink, relaxing. He goes up and he freaking annihilates the room.
Well, I must have done my ritual before I came in.
I'm telling
Usually
you.
what I do is I sit down in the club and I write my set. I know what it's going to be already. I might even be reading a set list written a couple of nights ago, but by writing this, it connects everything in my mind.
Exactly.
At my age, I can't remember things, so as a matter of fact, I had to write my stuff that way so that I would write 5-minute themed chunks.
Yep.
So like this is a chunk on airlines, or this is a chunk on being fan, or this is a chunk on, and then I only had to remember, 9 5-minute things. So I just say, okay, this is the airline, this is the Walmart, this is the, and each one of those is worth
funny.
5 minutes. So I only have to remember that part of it.
Yeah.
Keywords.
But I write down my set, so because I have to write down. Believe it or not, some of the like the little throwaway comments and things that make the joke good. I have to write those things down.
Just so the muscle memory.
I'm not going to look at the list.
No.
When I get up, it's not even going to come up to the stage with me.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to write everything down. And I thought, man, I must be fucking crazy. I must be the only person that does this. Then I was at a show not long ago, Justin McNeal. Just agonizing over his bits.
Yeah, well, he has a lot of short. I mean, I do exactly the same thing, answering.
That's your ritual.
Pretty much. I mean, I
Set
haven't
list?
like actually written it down in a while, but I look at the keywords.
Yeah.
I look
Say,
at
I
the
gotta
order.
do this and this and
Especially
this
if I'm
and
going to
this
do
and
an
this.
hour, I really kind of look at it.
Yeah.
God.
And then those little asides, I try to remember those, and they were improvs. That's how they came
Right,
about.
right,
exactly
But they're
how they
little
came about.
throwaway lines, but they kind of work. You know?
Yeah, right.
Of course.
Right.
Because if I miss 5 minutes in it, like I'll forget to do a whole
Section
missed
of
the
it.
whole section.
sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's rare, but then I go, wait,
Damn it.
I just did a callback to a joke I never did the first joke.
Yeah.
And so then I said, wrecked him and practically killed him. And they're like, what? Nothing, you know? Like, oh, I didn't tell the first joke.
I've
That's
done that.
Shoot.
that would have been really funny, I promise.
Yeah, if I did the first joke 6 minutes. That's awesome.
Well, we had 2 hours of recording at this point.
Yeah.
With the break in
Edit
between.
it down maybe a little bit.
I'm open.
I talked to
Yeah, no.
no, but you've got a lot of reels.
I got a lot of info. We got a lot of info, which is good. So, with that said, is there anything else you guys want to kind of talk about, or
Promote coming up,
anything coming
anything?
up, or
I'm at the Punchline in San Francisco in September.
Nice.
10th through 12th. 12th through
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
September?
Yes.
That's awesome.
San Francisco.
Took me 5 years to get in that room.
That's awesome.
The punchline.
This will
Still
be
there.
out.
It's
This
the last
episode will be
one,
out
right?
before that, so that's good.
Isn't the purple onion gone? Is it called something?
No, yeah, that's not. There's a new thing. I don't remember the name of it, but then there's Cobb's,
Oh yeah, it's still there. Yeah.
and they're run by the same people that run Punchline.
Gotcha.
So
That's awesome.
it's a tough
Awesome.
room to get
Congratulations, yeah, that's great. Crush it.
Sweet.
Wish you luck, man.
I'm at a campground in like a week or two.
That's gonna be fun though.
My biggest show this summer is at the Van Buren County Senior Center. It doesn't exactly, no curb appeal.
Yeah, just tell people about
promoting
San
that.
Francisco.
Hey, you asked for 35 plus. You got it. Careful what you ask.
Bring your AARP card.
Right. Those are one of those shows where, like, you guys, I'm sure everyone's witnessed that. Like, not many people are laughing, but then on the way up, they're like, "Great show." That was a great show. I'm like, if you laughed,
Yeah,
you
Why
would
didn't you show it?
Yeah,
I
right.
didn't want to change my diaper. That's why.
That's funny. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I didn't know if
Stacy?
I don't know what gigs I have. I have some theaters and different things, but there's a short film I'm in called Bathroom Trouble.
Okay.
This guy Jimmy Caputo is the director. It's Rhode Island, so it'll be like screening. It'll be like a fest or something. It'll be screening somewhere down by Providence.
Cool.
All right, and last
Nice.
thing before we sign off and we do our goodbyes, where can people find you on social media?
at Casey's Comedy everywhere. CASEYS Comedy.
Perfect. Perfect.
I'm StacyKendro.net, and also my Instagram is Stacy K Meow.
That's right. Stacy KBL. YouTube. You guys on YouTube?
Yeah, Stacy Kendro.
Yeah, same.
Same. Nice.
All right, we'll probably put links. We'll put links to the
Yeah, I'll
social
put
media
everything
and
across
stuff
the
as
bottom.
well.
Sure. Jay, you were going to say something
You were, Jay.
Yeah, that's
too long ago.
He's hungry.
Too much time.
He's tired. He's hungry.
Too much time in between.
Indeed.
We took the room up 3 degrees since we started. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're hot on that.
It's fantastic.
I'm finally warm.
All right. Well, I'm
That's
Mr. Rue. This
I'm
has been
Tommy.
Real and No Reels. Got my co-host Tommy Wise.
I'm Tommy
Sign us
Wise.
out.
Got Casey and Stacy. This was fantastic. So, thank you very much.
We got to go, and it's time to feed them.
Yeah, we got to eat. Time to eat. That's
gotta
the end
eat.
of our show.